Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mettle Labs. This will be our introductory session on family reunification. We're going to start out this session with a brief introduction of ourselves. My name is Dr. Ron Garrett. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I happen to serve a little short 20-year sentence in the Georgia Department of Corrections. I've been home since September the 4th of 2018, which is about 6 years now.
My name is Keith. I'm born in North Philadelphia, raised in Washington, D.C. My time of sentence is 24 years. Kind of moved around a little bit from Lord Reformatory to the Maryland Penitentiary.
My name is Keelan from Washington, D.C. I did 5 years on the Maryland Eastern Shore. I came home June 6, 2023.
How you guys doing? My name is Mikhail Thomas. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I did juvenile time all the way until adult time, in a total of 3, and then I went back and did a year and a half. So, yeah.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. I'm looking forward to a great session today. So, as incarcerated individuals stand on the threshold of returning home, we are faced with the daunting task of rebuilding relationships that have been strained or shattered by our absence. In recognition of this critical journey, we share with you a 12-session video series that has been designed to show the significance of family connections and provide a roadmap for those looking to mend and strengthen those vital bonds. We're going to start out today's session with a few probably very familiar definitions of family. One, we're going to just go with the general legal definition. A family often includes those related by blood, marriage, or adoption. In the United States, this definition varies by the legal context. Our second definition is biological or blood relations. Traditionally, a family is defined as a group of blood-related people. This includes parents and their children, siblings, and extended relatives like grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. And what we want to do at this juncture is to be able to ask each one of you to weigh in on your experience from the traditional family model.
Well, my experience is, first of all, I have 3 siblings, all female siblings, and I'm the baby boy. So, yeah, it was a little bit of spoiling going on there, but at the same time, I had to fend for myself in a lot of things because I ain't like nobody playing with my G.I. Joe stuff, so that, but yeah, and then I always had my uncles, there, in terms of someone to exemplify manhood.
Right.
For me, I grew up by myself. I do have 2 half brothers from my father's side of the family, but I grew up in the house by myself. But I always was in contact with my family members, with my brothers. We grew up together, but just in different households. But family, to me, is just a unique bonding experience. It don't really necessarily have to be about blood. It's just that experience, that growing up or sharing moments with somebody. That's how I look at family. Growing up where I'm from, my hood friends is my family, if that makes sense.
Understood.
Single mother household. I'm the oldest. I got 2 sisters, 2 brothers, 2 on my father's side and the 2 on my mom's side. And I guess my sister's sister, my half sister, I guess that's my sister too. So, but I'm the oldest. I didn't. My dad was serving a 10-year bid at the time when I came about, when I was born. So I don't remember any time with him when I was a kid, but I think that made me want to follow in his footsteps. So I couldn't really connect with family. So I don't my family that I really am close to now is probably the family I built, meaning like brothers I encountered that has stuck around, and
Right.
you know, my sisters and I are close, but not like it should. You know, one went to the Marines, and then the other one, she's a lot younger, so she's part of Gen Z. So,
Right.
and then my mom, I think she got a lot that she deals with, so it kind of it's hard to really have a relationship with her sometimes. So, yeah, you know, I don't really got a good definition on family at the moment besides the one I built.
Understood. Appreciate each one of you sharing. I know for me, I'm gonna just touch on the traditional family just a little bit. I know when I found myself in prison, I was kind of a odd out kind of a fella because the traditional family context is exactly what I come from. My grandparents, grandmother, and grandfather on both sides of my family. My mother and father. I've got two younger brothers, two sons who are both married, and and having our first grandsons. So the traditional family network of cousins, aunts, uncles. That's all we knew, all I knew growing up in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yep. And then our next definition that we want to look at and kind of delve into is the social and cultural definition, which we kind of have already heard Miguel kind of allude to already. Socially and culturally, a family can include individuals who are not necessarily related by blood or law, but are bound by emotional ties, care, and support. This can include step families, godparents, close friends, and others who play a significant role in an individual's life. And I believe each one of us have had experience with those extended family relationships, if we want to put it that way.
Yeah, for me growing up, like I said, I had three sisters biologically, but for me, I always wanted to hang out with the guys, build bicycles and ride bikes. So the guys in the neighborhood kind of took me in. So they was like my brothers. They would come to my house and they would say, Miss Diane, can we take Keith with us? And they would just show me the things, and then I learned a lot of stuff, even though the guys were older than me. Probably some stuff I shouldn't have learned, but I embraced it anyway.
Embraced it anyway,
I embraced
right?
it anyway, But I always think about those guys, and where they at now in life, and I really appreciate the things that I learned from them.
Excellent.
Yeah, facts. Growing up, I can still say I still got my brothers to this today. Growing up in the hood, I still talk to my man each and every day. Even though we went through two different paths. I went to prison. He went to the Army. He became successful. I became successful later in life, but he's still my brother, if that makes sense. Like, he check on me. He makes sure I'm doing right. I make sure he's doing right. We feed off each other. I give him advice when he need help. He give me advice when he need help. Ain't nothing gonna break that. I knew him since I was 11, and I'm 36 now. So like you said, blood don't have that necessary bond to say
Right.
that you're a family. You that experience growing up with somebody, going through the trenches and having life experience, that's what makes a family, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I ain't even gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous of y'all right now, man. Like, y'all had like basically an OG, somebody bigger, somebody that that had that knowledge. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like when y'all listening to y'all, it was me. It was. I feel like everybody around me was the little bros, like, and I got my street cred and my street smarts came for conversations with my father on jail calls.
Right.
And when I went out in the streets, it wasn't. Nah. When I was in Carolina, I had a couple older cousins that, like, in the trailer park. 'Cause a lot of people don't know that that's where I'm from. I'm not from, the rich part of Carolina or the southern part of Carolina where the houses at. Nah, I'm from the trailer park, and it don't make me feel no less. But we had people in the trailer park that were older, but they wasn't encouraging or none of that. They didn't make me feel like I wanted to hang with them.
Right.
You know, they felt like what Gen Z call ops. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I looked a certain kind of way. In Carolina, I'm not close with my family because I'm the only light skinned guy.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand why. It don't make sense to me. My dad is like the lightest person I've seen in my entire family. Everybody is probably like cube complexion.
Right, got it.
And they treated me a certain way.
Mhm.
You know, they used to talk about my looks, call my lip soup coolers, and like so. Like I never had older people
Right.
that all my youngins call me OG,
Mhm.
and I never had that. So I didn't really have nobody to teach me the way or show me the way. I just heard things about my dad, and I tried to mimic them.
Right.
You know, and then even movies I used to watch. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to be like young Scarface.
That was the example. Right.
That was what I had, And just my dad went there. My dad was in movies, so I used to watch hella movies, and it taught me how to be a person that gained that brotherhood that I had with all the people under me.
Got it.
And I still talk to all my young brothers. I got a couple of falling outs, but a lot of them, I got a handful that I still call bro, and they even helped me through all the times I went in, because even though I spent a long time, I had my bid, I still kept going back, and I didn't figure it out because I didn't have nobody to really just be like, until I went to my last sentence, which was 2019. Prince was 2019, right? 2019. I was locked up in Chicago, and it was people in there that kind of gave me my wake up call. I got my wake up call late. That's still recent, and it was somebody in there, that spit the game to me that I didn't, that no one was willing to give me, and he was a great father figure, even though he was one of my bunkmates.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this particular social and cultural definition, this is the one that I feel like I really missed out on until I don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way, until I had the privilege of going into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is my dad was he is a United Methodist pastor, and part of that tradition, we moved every 3 or 4 years. We moved to a whole new city, whole new schools, all that. So I've got one friend, one partner from the 9th grade. That's as far back as my my social, out in the street can go, because I never stayed anywhere long enough to get really get connected with anybody until I went on my missionary journey. And then that whole idea of people that wasn't my blood relatives, when we had to to find out in that environment who we gonna rock with in there, who got our back in there, so on and so forth. That's when I really had my first really exposure into the importance of this dynamic of family.
And something interesting about the social and cultural definition of family, I've seen instances where guys on the street are closer to their buddies on the street than their actual family.
That's right.
I mean, I'm talking about tight. We'll go to war with them, we'll die on the front line with them.
That's right.
And wouldn't get their brother or sister nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, it runs deep.
I agree.
It runs deep.
I remember a word. I know Keelan, and y'all. As we going through this, we just chopping it up, because I know from time to time when a thought comes to your heart, another question that may not be in the lineup, throw it out there, because we just talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So so with that said, I know Keelan had something he wanted to. I can see it in his face.
I was just thinking about what I was saying as far as the social and the cultural definition. And I had the liberty of being in Ohio for a little bit of time due to my foster care, being raised in foster care. And, I had some white partners.
Right.
And it was just a different mix, even though we came from different cultural backgrounds.